Hey friends, Ashton here, and welcome back to another episode of Good, True, and Beautiful. I don't know if I've been excited in a long time to have a new guest join us. As I was telling him before we hit record here, getting to know his work through his online presence has been just a great joy. And my senses are um, he's one of us, we're one of him. It's one big whatever. And so I'm very excited and grateful today to have some time with Rick Diamond, known as Rick the Story Healer. And we're going to get into that
Yes.
today.
Yep.
But Rick, Good, True, and Beautiful podcast. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Ashton. I'm really glad to be here, man. I love what you're doing. Thank you for inviting me. And we're just up the road from each other. Who knew?
We're neighbors, so
Right.
I
It's
don't know if I just
ridiculous.
invited myself to come have lunch with you, but I'd love to come
Please.
make.
You know, in Austin, we have a lot of good food. I'm just saying.
Yes,
Come on
yes, you
down.
do. Yes,
Come
you
on
do.
down. Come on down.
Well, I will take you up on that. So,
Good.
every conversation I begin kind of starts with this question, and
Hmm.
it is, when you introduce yourself and your work in the world,
Hmm.
um, where do you begin? So, I love to kind of offer that to you today, as our friends here at the podcast are going to eavesdrop on two cosmic strangers becoming friends in real time. So, where do you begin when someone asks a question like that?
I am here to help people remember who they truly are.
Mm,
That's it. Like,
that's
that's
it.
the mission. That's the whole point. And then, when they say, well, what's a story healer? Then, then we can do the whole, this is how I do what
Yeah,
I do, and this is where it came from, and all that stuff. But I mean, basically, I'm just here to remember who I am and help other people who remember who they are. If they want to. If they don't, that's
yeah,
okay too. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So my senses are, um, there was a journey to be able to speak a sentence that clear and concise. You don't just roll out of bed one day and say, "This is who I am and what I'm up to." Um, where do we how do we rewind in that journey, right?
Gosh.
Like,
Um,
I think a lot
it,
of us long to speak something with that amount of clarity.
mm, I think probably the easiest way to contextualize it or to say where it came from is to say that I uh, grew up believing that if in a very dysfunctional family of origin
Mm,
and chaotic and violent and broken over and over and over. And somewhere along the way, the little boy that I was decided if I am good enough and if I can hold it together, then I'll survive. like
mm,
like I nobody I don't think that was ever conscious. Do you know what I mean? Like there wasn't a five
yeah,
year old Rick or a 9 year old Rick that said, okay, this is the plan. But surely at some level there was a part of me that said, okay, being good and being pleasant and being funny and being sweet is kind of working at getting us out of certain chaotic or scary situations. So let's double down on that. And then that was the plan. And
yeah.
we moved all over the place. I ended up going to high school in Corpus Christi here in Texas and then went to Baylor University where my parents had met. Hello. Thank you.
Same, same.
And actually where my parents had, I'm not sure that they fell in love, but they had sex and got married because of me. I'm the miracle child that
Okay.
brought this union together. And then I went to Baylor, and I was being good, and that's I mean, for a long, long time, it worked pretty well. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like the attempt that the younger part of us makes to
hmm
follow up a plan. What
hmm
I call in story healing, I call it the should story. Like we
hmm
come up with a whole, if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, it'll work, and then it should work. Like this, if I keep doing this, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I met a lovely girl at college and got married like you're supposed to, and did the whole thing, and then we had kids and went to church and did all the stuff. And in my 20s, it started to unravel.
Mm,
It just didn't make sense. Like, which of course is a crisis. Do you know, like,
yeah.
what do you
Totally.
mean it's not making sense? Of course, this is all I got. And I went on a big spiritual journey, and I went on a big. I had a really lovely friend who was a pastor who introduced me to different ways of reading scripture, and then
Yeah.
And then that was it. Like it was just, I was gone. I was a goner. And so for 10 years, I was a college English teacher. And for me, it was all about how can this material like awaken you? Like, not just like,
Mm.
okay, here we're going to learn about complete sentences, but I got interested in like that moment when somebody awakens, or that moment when
Yeah.
somebody says, wait a minute, is this for me? And
Yep.
then we argue, and then we have a thing, and then whatever. And I was Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. I was standing on the desks. I was, we were
Yes.
meeting outside. I was just like, everybody hates English class. What can I do to make this like actually meaningful? Like, I don't want to waste their time or my time. And as I was doing all of that questioning, I was also questioning that whole story that I had come from. And that's
Mm.
what started the spiritual journey of me remembering who I was. And then I
Yeah.
got so deeply into that, I just was like, I want to share this with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have a lot of questions because man, talk about synchronicity. Yes, so
Mhm.
much of 80% of what you just shared is my story as well.
I figured that's
Um,
why we're here right now.
yep, yep. And so, let's talk about when it begins to crumble.
Hmm.
Everything that you're told, all those shoulds, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You should do this, you should do that. This is how it is. This is we're sold a little bit of certainty in a way, right? Like, this is the path you must take.
Hmm.
Um, Talk to me about um, how you began to learn of the divine,
Mm.
the source, not as this thing out there
Yeah. Right.
that's happening to us, but actually this thing that's within, that's
Yeah.
available,
You
that's
got it.
here. I think that's a beautiful place to begin.
It's a quantum shift. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 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 wild when the it being outside of me moves into this being within me, and then within her and him and them and everybody else. For me, the thing, Ashton, you said a few minutes ago, the promise of certainty. Like, if I follow like
Hmm.
they do sell, the should story sells us certainty.
Yeah.
Like, it says, if you do this, this will work out.
Which is fancy packaging for control.
Totally. Like, that's its whole job. Is, we I'm convinced that we come here, and your talk with Michael Mead got me really thinking about this too, because of
Mm.
his idea about genius. Like, there's this thing
Hmm.
within us that's who we are meant to be. For me, Hinduism and Eastern spirituality and indigenous spirituality have all informed my sense of like what we're supposed to do here. When I was growing up, what I was told was, I have to figure out what God wants me to do. That was outside of me, and I somehow had to find that somewhere. And that's what I heard all the time.
Hmm.
And then something started to shift when I said, wait a minute, what do I, oh, can I, what do I want? What do I want to
Yeah.
do? Like, what do I even want to find? And the answer was within. It wasn't chasing something outside of myself. It was within. And so for me, on the one hand, when it all started to crumble, and the should story, the thing that it promised wasn't working. Um, it actually happened. The crisis actually came because I went into ministry. So,
Interesting.
I mean, and many ministers that I know, and pastors and chaplains, and actually social workers and people who work in the helping professions, have said the very same thing. And I taught in seminaries and um, spiritual schools for years and years and years. Many,
Hmm.
many people say that when they started to move into like professional holiness,
Yep.
that what
Yep.
that I remember the first staff meeting I went to at a little Methodist church in East Texas where I was working. I went to seminary and the top of my head came off. Like, they were asking these amazing questions about faith and scripture and God and source and spirituality, and I was just freaking out. And then I went to work, and at the first staff meeting, I heard, we want asses in pews, we want money in the offering plates, and we want satisfied customers. So as long as everybody follows that protocol, you'll be fine. And something broke inside me,
Hmm.
and I just thought, I don't even belong here. Like, what am I
Hmm.
doing here? Like, this
Hmm.
doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I was having these beautiful spiritual awakenings within myself and having
Hmm.
connections to God and connections to a deeper part of myself I didn't even know was there.
Hmm.
And I just was mad. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, just stomping around the house. Why do we live in this crummy little town? Why do I have the blah, blah, blah? And that was really the beginning of the shift for me
Yeah.
when the exterior story just didn't hold
Yeah.
from my experience within. And for me, so many people that I've worked with over the years, the thing that was the greatest gift for them was when it didn't work, when
Yeah.
something fell down, when something
Yeah.
collapsed, when the
Yeah.
story, what the story had promised wasn't the truth and they couldn't avoid seeing that anymore. That's when their real story started.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like that's when your actual true narrow path begins, right? Because
Yes.
what's interesting is your awakening to this, oh my goodness, this thing is deeper and wider and more mysterious and more beautiful than I'd ever imagined. Simultaneously, the groupthink around you goes, no, 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 smaller, more controlled, more, it's not that colorful, it's very black and white,
Hmm.
and the only thing you know to do is go, I got to keep going.
Hmm.
And you find yourself on this narrow path. And I had a conversation with someone this week that you can feel a little lonely because you turn
Oh,
around and no one's on the path.
oh my gosh.
However, good news, you're in the game and you're on your path, which is why they call
Absolutely.
it your path,
It's
not the
yours.
group's path. Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about totally, absolutely, yes, 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 yes. Think about,
Yep.
I mean, think about my elder brother Jesus saying, "The road that leads to destruction is nice and wide and smooth and crowded,
That's
and
right.
the road that leads to what you're really after is like a cluster. You're
Yeah.
lost. You're wandering around. It's difficult. It's windy. It's rocky, and that's what you're really after." Like
Yeah.
he's aware and he's trying to help these. I mean, for me, my reading of the Gospels over and over and over is Jesus trying to wake people up from groupthink and
That's right.
system interrupt their thinking and the way that they understand, which is what he clearly went through himself. And he comes and says, "The kingdom is not up in the temple. The kingdom's not in the castle. The kingdom's within." That gets you killed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's right. That's right.
So when you said people have their awakening and they set out on their path, their own narrow path, the path that is theirs, in my work, I call that not the should story, but the heart story.
Mm.
Like that's the story that you're really here to live if you have the courage to awaken to it. But it's hard. It just
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
just is.
Yeah. Authenticity, the courage, the bravery to say, I'm going this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that it's that idea of call, right? That I love thinking of call as like this thing I hear I'm being drawn to. I don't know it all. I can just
Mm-hmm.
sense it's like a song I'm being pulled towards, right? And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
learning the rhythm, learning the dance, and the song changes. And
Mm-hmm.
just at the time when I think I've got the beat and the rhythm and the lyrics, it shifts and it's even more mysterious and beautiful. That's good
Yep.
news. That's
It's
the gr
very good.
that's great news. That leads
Absolutely.
to an interested, curious, strangely beautiful, mysterious life, which is what we are after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so, thank you for saying it like that, because that paints the the magic in it. Do you know what I mean? The
Mhm. Mhm.
mystery in it. Like,
Mhm.
but what we're told and what we're conditioned for is smallness and watch more TV and eat more and zone out and don't ask questions and don't be a problem. That is what's reinforced over and over. I'm writing the book that I'm writing about story healing and spirituality, and I'm almost finished with the third full draft. I'm so
Mhm.
excited. And like literally just a few minutes ago, before we started this interview, I was writing about how we try and actually express a genuine emotion in public, like at your office, in school, at the mall. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be arrested. You're dragged away. Like we don't do. That's not. We don't allow that. That's not real. And
Yeah.
but the path that you're talking about, the one that is authentic, the one that all of the spiritual traditions invite people into, and the
That's right.
hero's journey is all about,
That's right.
and all of it is all about every adventure that we're watching the hero do in a movie. and we love watching them do that. Like that's what it is. It's this messy, magical, ongoing, evolving, dangerous
Yeah.
way to move through our life. And that's
Yeah.
what we're all craving. And the story says, no, 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 no. That's not for you.
Yeah. Yeah. The ever changing, I think humans love finite finality, a period, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
perhaps we avoid, I mean, use, and I'm like, this is coming to me in real time. I think I avoided my own path for a long time because I thought it meant death, period. It's over, game over.
Yes.
Uh, if resurrection is teaching us anything, it's commas. It's not period. It's and next, and
Yes.
next,
Yes.
and next. And I think the longer you get on your own path, the more you start to understand. I don't know if I want to call it a rhythm, but a cadence to
Mm-hmm.
how reality works.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this thing is winter, spring, summer, fall, over and
Mm-hmm.
over and over and
Over and
over.
over and over and over and over.
And so I think it's a I think for some of our listeners to hear this invitation of as you respond to that calling, don't fear the death or the period.
Mm-mm.
It's a beautiful comma. It's
Always.
and there will be another one.
Hello.
And another one.
Hello. I mean, who
Yeah.
could that was beautifully said. Who can blame us for desiring certainty or
Mhm.
closure or what we perceive as safety? Like that's our
Mhm.
conditioning. That's
Mhm.
so much our conditioning. You
Mhm.
just want to, get it buttoned up and get it together. And we're told, get it together. Don't lose it. Like, think about you're losing it. Like, the idea that if we have everything under control, we'll somehow feel better and we'll be more approved of and we'll be more safe. There is no such thing. Like, that's
Yeah.
not real.
Yeah.
We have seasons that are a little gentler or a little easier, but all of us are always going to be invited again and again into uncertainty and
Yeah.
adventure. So if we see it as a comma, as a holy comma, right? As a
Bingo.
beautiful, sacred
Yeah.
comma, as
Yeah.
opposed to, oh crap, here we go again. And then we move into fear, as
Mhm.
opposed to the idea of, like, in an indigenous culture, in a culture in which people are not isolated in little boxes like we are,
Mhm.
where they see each other's lives over generations, and you are raised not by just your nuclear parents or step parents, but by a whole group of people. You get to see people going through all kinds of stuff. Oh, well, Aunt Gladys, she's freaked out again. That's okay. This is just what she does every 3 years. Like, there is a context for, like, the untidiness of real life, and
Yeah.
there is an understanding that especially when there are people who live closer to the earth and closer to the seasons. Speaking
Yeah.
of there being a spring, summer,
Yeah.
fall, winter, and it goes on and on and on. Like, but we don't have that. We are
Yeah.
in our boxes, cut off from the earth, cut off from our bodies, cut off from nature, cut off from our hearts. And so anything that happens, we think is
Yeah.
bad, and
Yeah.
we're totally upside down.
Yeah. So you've had a so the earth became a teacher.
Oh,
The the thing happening in the universe started to teach you.
yeah,
Um, Speak
yeah.
into that because I think for me, when the fall hits,
Hmm.
my mysticism moves into
Me,
cosmic.
me too.
It is a different. It's like poems and songs and
Hmm.
feeling and oh my gosh.
Hmm.
And I think there's some folks that maybe listen to some of these that go dangerous, careful, bro. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
And Father Richard Rohr teaches, hey, the creation was actually the first scripture. Creation
Hello.
creation was actually the first thing the divine had to say.
Love it. It's perfect. I mean, think about that. One of the things that Richard Rohr says about the importance of initiation, right? That
Yeah,
we, that one of the things that we resist in our culture is the willingness to go into a seasonal shift or a life shift or a death and resurrection. Like, we don't want that. But that is central
Mhm.
to what it is to be human, just as it's central to be on the earth.
Yeah.
And we're so cut off from it.
Unless the grain of wheat dies.
Hello, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jesus is modeling that for his people, and he's saying, I'm going to do something. It's going to really scare you. It's going to be great. And half of his followers leave, and he looks at the other ones and says, "Are you going to leave too? Like, is this it? Am I done?" And they say, "No, no, no. We're going with you. We're going with you. We're going with you." Like he's always teaching, and so is the Buddha, and so are the all of the beautiful Eastern mystics, like the yogis, all of these people who, and the Native American teachers, especially. For me, that's been a huge teacher,
Yeah.
specifically around rhythm
Yeah.
and being willing to be open to having the rhythm of life, even when I don't understand it, to trust that it has wisdom that I don't have. That's been
Mhm.
huge for me,
Mhm.
and we're scared of that, but I'm
Yeah.
for it. Absolutely, always.
Caveat, Pope John Paul II did tell the Pueblos, I believe somewhere in the early 80s, there's nothing about your understanding of the universe that's foreign to our understanding.
Thanks.
Um,
Yes.
and
Good.
so I
Hmm.
don't think we were ready to hear that then, and probably not ready to hear that today. So that way they don't throw you and I out, right?
Got it.
So someone else
Got
is
it.
saying those things.
Got it. Well,
Um,
I've been thrown out before. I mean,
oh,
it's
daily.
fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
um, Okay, so the journey, which is an awakening to your true self, and that's your work,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Yep.
you begin every video by saying, "Hey there,
Hmm.
you beautiful, powerful, unbelievably mysterious,
Hmm.
joyful
Hmm.
human being having a spiritual being having a human experience."
Yep.
Like that's your work.
Yep.
I think your work is both a shaking of the human to say, "Don't
Hmm.
forget who you are,"
Hmm.
and then a, "Hey, now that you know that, now that the aha is there, now what are we gonna do?"
Right.
That's
Right.
kind of what you're up to.
Absolutely. So when I work with clients from all over the world, which I love, by Zoom, who knew, right?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
And when I lead retreats, I just did one in August up at Ghost Ranch in northern New Mexico, which was
Oh my mercy.
heavenly, wonderful, amazing. Speaking. Oh, and the funny part. Side note: the funny part was um, the room that we were in was kind of hot, and we couldn't. They don't have a lot of air conditioning at Ghost Ranch because it was
Yeah.
built, a long time ago. It's been renovated. It's beautiful. Blah blah blah. It was amazing. But what was hilarious was there were 14 of us in our circle. The room was perfect, except that next in the room next to us, across the courtyard, was a gigantic family reunion, and kids were, people they were playing music, and kids were kicking the soccer ball, and people were carrying on and whatever. So we couldn't do the thing that we were supposed to do theoretically, which was
Hmm.
open the doors and let the air, the beautiful northern New Mexico air, blow through, which would have been
Yeah.
fine even in early August. It was the
Yeah.
beginning of
That
August.
that O'Keefe breeze. Let it
Yeah,
come
man,
through.
exactly. So what we did instead was the 14 of us walked out across the driveway and sat on picnic tables under the cottonwood trees under the
uh,
shade of the mesa, and nature was just like, I got it. I got it.
well,
And as the sun would go down, then the mood would shift and we'd start working on different stuff. It was amazing. Don't fight it. Just let it
yeah.
happen. Just let it
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah.
So when I'm working with people, whether it's in person, I have a men's circle that meets in my house on Tuesday nights, or whether it's working with clients all over the place, that question over and over and over, like I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, comes into conflict with the should story we've been
Hmm.
shaped by, the limitations that we've been told, and the things that we've been told we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so I get to support people as they're in their push and pull,
Yeah.
as they're in their own expansion and I'm in my own expansion, and we get to learn from each other. And by the way, this is not a secret, but I'll just say it. I don't know what's going to happen in a session.
Hmm.
I don't. I am trusting my soul to guide this, but more than that, I'm trusting that other person's soul to
Hmm.
guide the work that we're
Hmm.
doing. They're
Hmm.
the ones who know who they are. We just get to dig around together and look
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
which is so counter to my training from the religious world, which is there's a thing, and from the business world, hello, and
Yeah.
from the educational world, there's a thing we're going to accomplish by the end of this hour.
Yeah.
Like, I
Or
don't
there's
think,
something you lack that you need to go
oh
get.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to
Yeah.
fix that. Like,
Mhm.
no, there's one of the things I say in the book over and over and over is there's nothing wrong with you.
Mhm.
I realize that
Mhm.
we're in disease and discomfort. That's because the story needs to be changed. We need to
Mhm.
challenge the story. We need to challenge the shoulds. We need to challenge the box that we've been put in. But who we are is beautiful.
Mhm.
As
Mhm.
messy as we are, as goofy as we are, it's beautiful.
I feel like there's probably a couple groups that may listen to our conversation. Um, One being those that are right there at the beginning of that crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I needed someone to mirror some things to me. I needed new language, vernacular. Something was happening, but it wasn't until some voices came along, some
Yep.
new, people, both living and not living, that came and said, "Hey, this thing that you're feeling is normal."
Right.
Um, what are some things that you could speak into that you consistently see when people are like, "Oh gosh, I don't know what it is, or there's something, and I feel like there's next." Like, it's probably late 20s to mid 50s,
Yeah.
where this,
Yeah.
and you may just numb yourself out and never pay attention to it. But if you're willing to be available and do the work, you're going to feel this at some point, and it all
Absolutely.
comes to us at different ways.
Right.
Um, so let's first speak to those folks, and then maybe we can encourage those that have already kind of said, "Okay, I'm in on the joke now." Now, now what? So because you've got all these case studies, which is so
Yeah.
interesting to me so
Yeah.
I want to hear about, um, you know, what you've noticed, consistent themes,
Yeah.
feelings, that rise up with people, and they go, "Rick, this is what I'm feeling." Because I think if another person could hear some of that, maybe they could go, "Oh, interesting. Yes."
Yeah. One of the best things, one of the most fun things about the book is that I get to include a bunch of these case studies, these conversations in the book, which is
Very
really
cool.
good because it is sort of normalizing
Yeah.
to see that somebody else is going through something similar to what we've gone through. I also always recommend a wide variety of great spiritual teachers, whether it's Richard Rohr or Thich Nhat Hanh or
Oh yeah.
Joan Halifax's The Fruitful Darkness, or I mean, so many on and on and on and on and on, because they give language to and a framework to what is this thing I'm experiencing? What is this thing I'm going through? Which helps a lot.
Hmm.
The thing that I see over and over and is over again when people are beginning when they're facing the crumbling, or maybe it's not that something is falling apart, maybe that something is awakening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's something warming up in them. Like John Wesley said, I felt my heart strangely warmed. Like
Yeah.
something's happening. What's happening? Something's happening. And a lot of what comes up first is, on the one hand, there's fear. And the
Hmm.
fear is, I'm going to do this wrong, or if I say the wrong thing, or if I take a step, I'm just going to screw everything up and everything's going to fall down. What's going to happen to my marriage? What's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my relationship with my mother if I tell her that I'm thinking differently about my faith or about myself or about myself as a woman or a man or neither, right? So the fear that comes up is totally natural because the should story and the box told us this is what you're supposed to be. And so to challenge that even just within ourselves,
Yeah.
there are so many gatekeepers within ourselves that
Yeah.
rush up and say, no, 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 don't ask that, don't think that, don't consider that. So the fear that comes up first is totally normal and totally appropriate. And a lot of what I do with people is to just reassure them and say, that's a good sign. That means that something is shifting. It doesn't mean you have to go live in India in an
Yeah.
ashram. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you
Yeah.
have to quit your job. It doesn't mean that you have to get a divorce. It doesn't mean anything. It might mean that your life changes in the external, but all of
Yeah.
this is an inside job, as they say in
That's
12
right.
steps,
It's an inside
right?
job.
This is all an inside job. So why don't you just observe and let's talk about what you're afraid of and let's see who's talking. So one of
Mhm.
the things that I like to do is to ask people to say, whose voice is this? Like when you hear, if I take this step, I'll be bad or I'll mess everything up or, fill in the blank. Who's talking? And many, many times, if they're willing to sit with that and journal with it or meditate with it or sit or really talk it through slowly and be open to it, they'll realize, wait a minute, oh my gosh, that's my dad. Oh my gosh, that's the church I grew up in. Whatever,
Mm.
oh my gosh, that's I was when I was told if I don't follow this career path, I won't be happy or successful and nobody will
Yeah.
love me. I mean, I've
Yeah.
literally had people say, if I quit this job, no one will love me.
Yeah.
Right. And so then we dig into that message of fear or that warning or that gate you're feeling or that electrified fence that you're coming up
Yep.
against. Like, who wrote that story for you? Where did that even come from? And when people start to do that with religious text or with religious belief, it can be really scary because there's all the God and hell and stuff built into it and salvation. But it's just as scary if it's relational. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because our need for connection is so big.
100%.
So we become afraid not of going to hell, but of I'm going to die alone. I'm not going to be loved. And so fear, and then who's talking and what needs to be looked at, and then the patience to say, so if you just gave yourself permission to entertain this possibility, why don't you just see what presents itself to you? Because Ashton, the thing you said a few minutes ago, like it's going to keep coming. Of
Yep.
course, it's going to keep coming because the thing you are seeking is seeking you
That's right.
always,
Yes.
always. So if it can't get in one door, it'll come through a window. And if it can't
Yes.
get in through the movie that you watched that you were like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. And then you put it back to sleep or you ate Cheetos and made it go away. Then it'll
Mhm.
come some other way. It'll come through an Instagram post. It'll come through a book on a shelf. It'll come through a friend just saying something random. I'm totally convinced that the universe is always at work, cooperating with our soul,
Mhm.
trying to trick us, basically.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and the no thank you, not now. Nope, not gonna look at
Mhm.
that. Nope. I love that it keeps coming.
Uh,
It'll show up in different forms. It's your teacher. It's
right,
trying to liberate you.
right. Always.
You're saying it's annoying you, but it's actually, "Hey, what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
Um, and so that's the perfect doorway into the conversation of those that have kinda had the aha, is I
Hmm.
always go, "Yeah, you're not over in India doing chants." I mean, maybe you do, like, right
Maybe.
on, party at the
Mm,
moon tower.
yeah, go for it.
Um, a lighter and brighter life emerges.
Mm,
It slows. You leave, this chaotic, complicated way of being into a simple and quiet way of being.
yeah.
Your eyes start to glisten a bit. You start noticing those whose eyes are glistening that you
Yes.
never had an idea. You
No.
never allowed that category of those people to
Right.
have glistening eyes, and yet they're taking you to the table
Yeah.
faster than anyone else. And
Yeah.
so, would you say that that's another experience to offer our listeners, is that the lighter, brighter, the less chaotic, less complicated, more simple, more quiet, beautiful way of being that, oh, by the way, is sustainable,
Right.
enjoyable.
Right. Yes.
Oh, and someone said the burden's easy and the yoke is light.
I've heard that. The smart
Somebody.
guy said that. Yes. Like when he says that, right? He's really inviting people into a completely different framework. And I remember learning years ago that the idea of the yoke, it was a euphemism for the teachings of your rabbi. So,
Mhm.
like, I want to be your teacher, and you have heard it said that it needs to be really, really hard and that you need to get it together or God's not going to love you. I'm going to throw that out. I have a different idea.
Yeah.
So, the idea of it being gentler and simpler is going to be reciprocal because part of it is that that's what begins to happen for us. And then part of it is that we start to cooperate with it. Like, we're
Mhm.
less I'm not chasing things as much as I was
Yeah.
before, and I'm not as frantic as I was before, and I'm able to just be more and be slower. I spend much more time like grounding to the earth and being under the sky, and I spend much more time in silence, like intentionally. And it's not like, okay, well, I got to have my quiet time or God's not going to be happy with me and I'm going to get in trouble. Man, I haven't been praying lately. No, I want to be quiet. Like that's
Chopping onions becomes a prayer.
absolutely everything can become a prayer, right?
Yeah.
What's is it who Brother
Mar-
Lawrence? No, the practice of the presence of
oh
God,
yeah,
like
that's
just
Brother Lawrence.
right, just chopping the like washing the dishes becomes a
Yeah.
prayer. Like everything becomes meditation, everything becomes practice. But I will also add that for the people who are in it and who are stepping into it, like some stuff gets
Hmm.
woogity. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't align. And when my vibrational field and when my gravitational field and when my center become more um, healthy,
Yeah.
like some things that I've been holding on to are going to start to rattle, like they're
Yep.
going to start to wobble, and some relationships are going to vibrate out, and
Yep.
some things that I've been holding on to, it's going to be clear. Speaking of Jesus' wisdom, like if that thing is causing you to get off of your path, you need to get rid of it. You need to cut it off, right?
Yeah.
And so it becomes gentler and it becomes easier. I loved your awareness around the glistening in the eyes and the
Hmm.
softness, and there's connection with people that you would not have connected with before. And then there's the whole thing about the relationships and the patterns that have worked for 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years that they just don't work
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
part of it too.
Yeah.
And that can feel like loss, but it's not.
I wrote a in my newsletter this weekend this idea of and just hearing you process that allows me to process it even more. Before this moment in our lives, before the aha, the
Mm-hmm.
eureka,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's about making it happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's about getting your weapons and your armor and your chariots and your
Yes.
wagons and taking the hill, making it happen. When you move into this way of being that we're inviting people into, you drop that narrative and you enter this idea of making it welcome.
Mm.
And so, as you said, things start coming your way.
Yeah.
You drop the weapons and the chariots and the wagons and everything, and you start cultivating a mysterious garden.
Mm.
And the seeds are kind of interesting. We've heard these before: love and peace and patience. And you just plant them your way. It's kind of like there's only one Rick Diamond way to plant them, and you
Yeah.
figure out how you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Not only does interesting things come out of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
but the butterflies show up
Mm-hmm.
and you help pollinate the whole world.
Yeah.
And so you leave making it happen and you enter this realm of making it welcome. And you realize the beautiful thing of the miracle is it's actually not even contingent on you, other than you planting some things out there.
Hello.
And then
Hello.
it comes. Someone else is in charge of all that other stuff. Okay, I don't know how to move January to December. I can't bring in the rain from the Gulf
Right.
of Mexico. I don't
Right.
have that capacity, but someone else does.
Mm-hmm.
And uh to me, that's like the definition of liberation,
Oh man.
freedom.
Because it's not all on me. It's not
Yeah.
all on us to make it happen. That analogy was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. When I don't feel like it's all up to me or it's all on me, when I'm not the one who has to hold everything together or make everything happen, I become a collaborator. Like when you
Yeah.
said, like, make things welcome, like I welcome in who else has got something. And by the way, the whole time, God, universe, source, everything around us, the earth is saying, I'd love to help anytime. If you could just, squeeze me in a tiny bit. I've got
I'm
lots to
available.
contribute.
I'm
I'm available.
available.
I'm
Are
right
you?
here. I'm right here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
so
I
good.
so making the room, right, for it to be
Yeah.
collaborative. One of my favorite things that happens as I was saying, in a session with a client, and especially as in a retreat setting or in a circle, is I don't I we get to be each other's medicine. We get to be each other's teachers. We get to be each other's resources. We don't have to figure it out. It's so different from this is a meeting. We're following Robert's Rules of Order. We have these objectives we're going to meet by the end of the meeting, and we are going to make it happen. Like I was in that world for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Um, and it gets like it builds bridges, which I'm happy about. Like that's good. Like
Yeah.
trucks go with supplies from here to there on roads that work. That's good. That's a good
Needed,
thing. It's great.
necessary.
It
Yeah.
is necessary. And being in that, it's as if there's a circle, and the top half of the circle is how we move through the world outside, and the bottom half is how we move through the world within. The
Yeah.
top half is important. Like
Yeah.
that's needed. But our culture, in my experience, and the experience of thousands of people that I've worked with, is the only thing that matters is the top half of the circle
Mm,
because that's what's measurable. And that is not the truth. And it's certainly not the spiritual path.
that's right.
The spiritual path is to go within and to go below and to listen and to be cooperative and to allow and to welcome, as you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And, here's poor Jesus talking about this 2,000 years ago. And then we just build cathedrals and machinery and, Robert's Rules of Order and denominations. And he's just shaking his head. That's okay. Whatever. Y'all do your thing.
Yeah. And yet it's as if those teachings they gain a whole new shimmer
Oh,
in this realm. Like,
oh,
not only was it true, is it better than true? Is that even a phrase or an idea? Like
yeah,
it's um they enter a new realm of making even more sense.
absolutely.
In
Absolutely.
such a soft,
Hmm.
relaxed, quiet way.
Yep. Yep.
Um yeah, I
Um,
think we've heard of Jesus. I forget who this was. Willard maybe? Yeah, like the one thing that we miss out is like just how relaxed he was,
right.
you know. Yeah. And the
But
great invitation was in him, so in you.
right. Hello. Right. And
Yeah.
by the way, just come and sit down, everybody. One of my favorites is every time that the disciples make a suggestion to him from their masculine, from their
Mhm.
rational, from
Yeah.
their sense of this is what we need to be accomplishing, and he'll just turn it upside down. I'm going to play with children for a while, and you guys go do whatever it is you're going to do, and I'll get back to you. Right. I mean, I think the willingness for us in this time in history, especially for those of us in the Western world who come from that very
Yep.
Western rationalist, spiritual, religious framework, to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but to say, how can I see this in a larger
Yep.
spiritual context and a larger psychological context and a larger emotional context that 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 can expand what I
That's
bring
right.
with me. I just it just keeps going and going and going. And I love that. I mean, I love sitting with people as we deconstruct and reconstruct and imagine, and it's not like anything's going away. It gets to be repurposed and reimagined and brought forward.
But before enlightenment, we carry water and we chop wood. After enlightenment, we carry water and we chop wood.
It's
And
not
I think
hard.
that's a great fear. We fear, oh gosh, I'm going to lose my role. I'm going to lose
Right.
this thing.
Right.
No, a more peaceful, patient, spacious, vast, interesting, authentic you arrives carrying water and chopping wood.
I'm here. Yeah.
And guess what the world loves? An
Mm.
interesting, peaceful, patient, kind, vast, spacious
Yeah.
human carrying water and chopping wood. You can see it from a mile away.
Of course. And
The
those are the
waiter,
people, yeah.
whoever.
Right, right. Those are the people that we're attracted to, and those are the people who we want to be our teachers. And then the message comes in story healing. One of the things I say is, what are the agreements that you made to fulfill the role that you took on?
Mm,
And so much of the agreements that we make don't fit who we really, really are.
yeah, yeah,
And so when we see somebody who has been able to change the role that they were told to play and the agreements that they signed up for, and they've made their own agreements, like they have the freedom to be acting from within as opposed to outside. We are attracted to their energy, and we say, how do you do that? What give me the answer? And of course the answer is, well, what do you got? Like, where are you? What's happening? And that's the place to go to. It's just
yeah.
go deeper within. What are you carrying? Well, I'm really mad about this. Great. Let's start there. That's
Yeah.
a good place to start. I'm really sad about this. Okay. Great. There's plenty of room. Plenty of room.
Yeah. That constriction that
Mm,
we all feel. I tell you when I notice this, I notice, and this is on my best days.
mm.
So I am not batting 1,000 on this. I may have done a podcast on this before, but I noticed one day the little smirk while driving
Mm,
versus like eyebrows scrunched and kind of where am
yes.
I going next? And I'll notice this. It'll creep in and have a little jazz playing in the background, and it's like the only thing I know to say is it's all one.
Mhm.
Like this beautiful, diverse thing collapses into this one beautiful, mysterious thing.
Yeah.
And that's when you're alive.
Yes.
That's when you know it. You notice the sun's kind of dancing on your forearm a bit.
Mhm.
Little small things sing and speak to you. And you feel like you're a part of the universe, the one great song.
Yes. Universe. Yeah.
Universe. That's
Yeah.
it. That's what we're
Yeah.
after.
One of my thank you for describing it that way. One of
Yeah.
my favorite moments, and I get to have it a lot, so I'm really lucky, is to see that we are one
Hmm.
with each other.
Yep.
To sometimes my wife and I went a month ago to New York for her birthday weekend just to go see a show and walk around and all that stuff. And I had to turn my spiritual radio, my radar way down. It was just too much. Like I could not
You
be.
didn't have the Merton Fourth and Walnut experience?
I'm just saying I would
Yeah.
pass by somebody and go, "Oh my gosh, we're one. I see you.
Yeah.
I see your spirit. I see your humanity. I see. Oh, here's another one. Hi, we're one." Like I was just like, I got to stop. Like this is too.
Yeah.
It's too much. I mean, I'm not gonna even know where I am.
Have you heard of that story? Thomas
Um,
Merton, the historical marker?
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
absolutely,
When that happens, oh, I love that moment. I
absolutely. I
love that
do
moment.
too. I do too, and it's available all the time.
That's
It's
the body of
available.
Christ.
Of course it is. Of
Yeah.
course it is. And so, what we're all, for me, and the joy of what I'm doing with this season of my life after 30 years of total of ministry, and then a little wandering in the wilderness for a couple of years and saying, well, how do I want to be with people now? I don't want to be in that model anymore. How do I want to be with people? And then introducing story healing and story work and spiritual direction and wandering together,
Yep.
like the thing that I get to do is just to be with people while we have those little moments. Like we have
Yep.
moments of awakening, we have moments of seeing, we have moments of saying, "Oh, oh, 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 oh." And then that beautiful thing that happens when somebody says, "I was just thinking," and the other person says, "I was just thinking." Because of course we're all connected. Of
Yep.
course we're all part of the beautiful great tapestry of being. Of course we're just threads. It's
Yep.
we don't have to be the center of everything. We certainly don't have to have everything figured out, which is
Yep.
radical,
Yep.
which is totally heretical. Okay. I mean, okay.
Rick, the story healer diamond. I could do this all day.
Me too, brother. This is good.
Um, so my senses are some folks have become curious
Mm.
here in this conversation. Um, if they say, "Hey, I want to learn more," where would you invite? How can they get to know what you're up to? And website, Instagram, where would you send them?
Thank you for asking.
Yep.
drrickdiamond.com. Super simple. And then my handle on all the social media things is Dr. Rick Diamond. So they can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff. Threads. It's really lovely.
Shameless plug. If you need a sip of some goodness every morning, brother Rick Diamond is gonna be. He's gonna have his bandana. He's gonna be open collared, drinking coffee under some cosmic tree, and you're gonna hear what you need to hear. You're gonna hear what you need to hear, and
Oh,
it's so good. It's
I
so
will
good.
tell you, I'm sitting downstairs in the chair where I meditate every morning. I feed the dog, I feed the cat, I get a cup of coffee, I sit down, I meditate for a long time, and then I pick up the phone and I record the first thing that comes to me. Like that's the plan. And
That's
early
it.
on, I was like, "Do I need a strategy? Does this need to be targeted? Do I need to build what?" I was listening. Come on, shut up.
Hey,
Just listen.
you know
So
when you're on the right path, it finds you. Whoever needs to cross paths with it finds it. I'm glad I found it.
Me too.
Grateful that we've kind of curated a friendship here.
Me too. This is good stuff.
Um,
Thank you for what you're doing, for real. It's good. It
Thank you.
matters. It
Thank you.
matters. Yeah.
As we sign off, ever so often, I invite a benediction. I invite
Mm,
our guest in their own way to offer something to those that have joined us here. And I didn't ask you this beforehand, but if you'd be open for something like that, to wind us down, maybe wind us up and let us go, I would love to give you the mic as we close up shop here.
Thank you so much, Ashton, for having me. I will tell you, it's really simple. Ready, everybody? It matters that you're here. Go get 'em, Tiger.
That's a wrap, my friend.
Thank you
I
so
loved it.
much.
That was
Thank you
fun.
for what you brought to this conversation.